pouring the libation now. We give honor to Almighty Olodumare, the supreme deity, the creator of heavens and earth. We give honor to all the ancestors who have made it possible for us to be here today. We are here today to commemorate our ancestors, and we are also here to unveil the plaque that was commissioned in commemoration of our ancestors. But before we do that, we'll have to invoke the spirit of our ancestors so that they will come and bless this plaque for us.
Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is C.R. Gibbs. I had a little something to do with this plaque, and I wanted to point out the forgotten history, the buried history of black people in Anacostia. And ADACI gave me the permission, it gave me the conduit in order to do that. I want to thank Brother Ford. Man, this is your house, and you helped take an extra lift up to the revealing of the history that is largely unknown. This bridge right here is a bridge of renewal. It is a bridge of resistance. It is a conduit between time and space. I only want to give you two examples very quickly. The first is a young unnamed brother who tried to get across this bridge to freedom in DC at the beginning of the Civil War. When he was, because these bridges around DC were guarded, when the authorities grabbed him, when the Union soldiers grabbed him, he thought he's going to get a good reception. He didn't. Ultimately, he would be, and perhaps there's a symbolic message in that he showed up believing that was a way to freedom, but not for him and not that day. Not for him and not that day. But the Union troops, the white Union troops of the 71st Regiment, they said, "Why did you come here?" "I came for freedom." He said, "How far did you come?" He said, "I walked 60 miles. I walked 60 miles to get there to that bridge because it meant something. Because our ancestors understood and were clearly willing to pay any price, to bear any burden in order to be free." Can we do less? Can we do less? The second is a young lady who would come to be known as Aunt Mary Dines. She had the good fortune to sneak across the Navy Yard Bridge or the 11th Street Bridge a little bit before the start of the Civil War. But even then, she had to be sneaked across the bridge in a hay wagon. She had to be buried and lay on the planks, and pounds of hay were put over her so she could sneak into the nation's capital. They said, well, where are you going to go? She knew that her next destination was a stable in an alley on Capitol Hill. We help each other. I sometimes scratch my head at the way the history of the Underground Railroad is being taught in our schools. The kids, first of all, think that there was an actual train that went underground, and they remain largely ignorant of the fact that these were individual acts of resistance by black people. Other folk get the majority of the credit. But we had to carry that weight. We had to risk our lives. It was not a joke. It was not a monopoly game. None of that. None of that. And so in the case of Aunt Mary Dines, she had been born enslaved in Prince George's County, was sold to harsh, brutal slavery in Charles County. Wow. And after getting a number of beatings, she recalled that a piece of paper with Washington, D.C. on it. And she remembered she had gone there with her mistress. She said, I got to go there. I want to go there. She wanted to breathe the air of freedom as well. And so she remembered, she made the right connections, and in a hayway to go to a stable in an alley on Capitol Hill. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, never tell your children black people don't stick together. Whatever else you may do, I know we get frustrated, we get mad at one another, you know, but that sometimes we make each other cry. But we do stick together. Our history, it's not perfection. We're not perfect beings, so we cannot act in perfection. But Lord, we tried, and in our trying, we've changed the world. Aunt Mary Dines would go on to work at the Soldiers' Home. She would get to know Abraham Lincoln. She had a beautiful lilting soprano. She would wind up singing for the 16th president, so much so that they said her singing could make tears come to Lincoln's eyes. Wow. She maintained her dignity, she maintained her integrity, she maintained a lifelong hatred of enslavement, to the extent that Aunt Mary Dines, D-I-N-E-S, for those of you who go and look it up, when I do the tours with young people today, I have found that before I get them off the bus, they're on their phones checking me out. So I got to come correct. I got to tell the truth. But this is Aunt Mary Dines she remained a teacher for the rest of her life. One other source, there is a wonderful book by a brother named John Washington called They Knew Lincoln. And he was brought up as a young boy, not much older than this one, and he met Aunt Mary Dines and a whole bunch of other black folk. These are the people that don't get recognized in our history book. Right. But they despised injustice. They fought against enslavement. And here, thanks to Brother Ford, right. God bless him. Let's give him The thing I like about this is that we did it. I can't tell you the amount of politics that goes on about what history is commemorated in D.C. and what history is not. But in this case, I don't have to worry. We control this, and we're telling the truthful story. So thank
you very much. You know, this moment is so important because something he just said. I was reading a book recently, and the book recently said the reason why we as a people don't always understand who we are is that when we are in our cities, we don't see things commemorating who we are. And I said, wait a minute, we know everyone else's history, but we don't understand our own. And we don't understand who we are. And I was reading that book, and then I met Lavia, and I knew each other for a while, and Eureka met Eureka. And they came and asked me, I know you got a building coming up. And would you be willing to put a piece of history on your building? I was honored, like, are you asking me, a native Washingtonian who grew up in Carver Terrace, who know how God has blessed me, that I can be a part of my own history? I'm not asking a soul to put this on my building. This is on my building. Before we realized what, and then I saw, where's the artist? He went down. I am so amazed when I saw this. And I need everyone from this, and I'm so happy he's here, to bring people by here, because every time you look at this piece of art right here, you will see something different. The thing that blows me away is I think about the ancestors, and I think about the hands, and I think about the hands that are pushing us forward. I think about how we as a people are the dreams and the manifestation of what they knew what was going to happen if they just survived. That's what I'm so hyped about what you were talking about. If they just survived. And they did, and these hands hold us up. Every time I look at this, and Eureka knows, I'm like, I saw something else. So I need you to make sure from one point of this city to the next, they come to Anacostia, MLK, and Good Hope Road. It's more than just what they ever hear about. It's a place of greatness. It is a place where we as a people take a stand and say, you know what? When he welcomed me over to Anacostia, my man over here, I said, you know what? I just want to be a part of this. I want to be part of the history of what we're able to do. This is the beginning of what we're able to do here. I just thank you guys for the opportunity. We're going to be economic changes. We're going to get jobs. We're going to make sure that we as a people continue to grow. And remember that we are the kings and queens of who we always were. It's just now to manifest ourselves into it. Lafayette, I thank you. Eureka, I thank you for making me a part of this. Lafayette.
I want to thank the community for being here today, but you know, we have to start off by thanking God. And the blessings that the ancestors have given us today, as much as I love rain and I understand the blessings that come with rain, they decide to hold off just a little longer. So we can celebrate that. And that's a blessing. I also want to make sure that we thank the ADACI family, because without Eureka and the ADACI family, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you, Eureka. And the drummers, C.R. Gibbs, and the historian, to make sure that we were able to get through all of the problems that you can have putting the plaque up. But thanks to Antoine's leadership and his ability, because he's the owner, to make the decision. We didn't have to go through all the red tape. You know, we went through the black tape. And we got So, you know, this plaque, bronze plaque, will be here for eternity. That's right. As a matter of fact, a lot of us who are standing here today will probably be going with the ancestors. But this plaque will continue to serve as a marker, as a symbol for our children, our children's children, and more importantly, it's a symbol of we as people telling our story. You know, my wife Denise always talks about the importance of the Washington Informer telling the story of black people. This plaque today, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, is telling our story. And it will be here as long as, you know, we can be here, and then when we leave, it's still here. And I see a couple of people who I know who are in this plaque, so it's a beauty. I want to just say a few quick words about my company, Zulu Global Enterprise. Because we're awarding small business that does professional services by doing matchmaking for businesses and nonprofits, not only in DC, but globally. And you know, our mission today was basically to say, how can we use those partnership development skills to bring Antoine and Eureka and the community together to make this happen. And you know what? It wasn't hard. Because Antoine's, his heart, his business savvy, Eureka with her international commitment with ADACI and all of the international folks in Africa, Ghana, wherever, you know, people know Eureka. And so it wasn't hard, you know, to get these brothers and sisters together in such a quick way. We started this, I think, back in November when Antoine opened. I think he did the groundbreaking, not the groundbreaking, but the ribbon cutting back in November. So it's been, you know, a short period of time, but that's what black people can do when we come together, particularly for a purpose like this. So I just want to say that I'm happy on behalf of my small company, Zulu Global Enterprise, to help to support this activity. And this is just the beginning. In fact, one of the things that I want to do with ZGE and Antoine and others is to do more of these around our city. Not just in Anacostia, historic Anacostia, but why not in Northeast, Northwest, all over the city, because we have a story to tell. And if we don't do it, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't gonna happen. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out today and supporting us. I got a couple more real quick points. You know, I'm always writing stuff down. So, in closing, I just want to say that we have to remember the words of Dr. Calvin Rollard, one of our ancestors, who said, "If it is to be, it's up to me. No one can save us from us but us." This is a symbol of how we can save ourselves. And I'm saying the challenge for all of us is to continue, put all of the crap aside, June 6th or January 6th, whatever that is. Don't worry about it, because the ancestors are going to protect us. They're with us, and let's continue this march of the struggle continues. God bless you. Thank you very much.
I just want to thank Antoine and Lafayette and everyone who's here, your spirit, your energy, for being with us today. Antoine mentioned the ADACI. Whenever he looks at it, really quickly, I want to help you to understand the logo of the ADACI symbol. And actually, this was created for us by Mary Graham Leducci, a well-known artist in our community. But it is as a result of over a week of fasting and praying, and the symbols that came to us, the ADACI founders, in our dreams. And so here we have the bowl, which represents the womb of the black woman. The ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. The hands of the ancestors who are reaching out from the Atlantic Ocean. The slave ship that they were taken in. The hands, the bigger hands, are the hands of the divine ancestors who are lifting us up out of the bondage of slavery. This is a reliquary figure, a guardian figure, a koto figure from Gabon, a guardian figure of the ancestors. We have the Ankh representing everlasting life. We have an Equebadol, fertility, meaning that we will continue to produce generations to come. And we have, you can't see it here, but there's lights, rays of lights coming from the background, which is the diaspora representing hope and light. And so enlighten. This is how the ancestors work. His company is called Enlighten, and that is the hope of the ancestors. So this is a powerful, powerful logo, and that's when he says he sees something. So when you see, that's our protection. That's the ancestors talking with us. So just wanted to make sure that you see it. And when we talk about the future, and yeah, Baba Shango, all those who are in this picture here, right here, there they are. You know, they are set in bronze. This is history. This is their history. So that's right. Oh my God, that's right, Mama. Yes, you come on up here, Mama. And so I'm gonna call, I'm just closing out when we talk about the light. Where is our youth? Nia, our dear, sweet, loving community daughter. We love this child. I know Ifa Sen isn't with us today, but he is there in spirit. This is one of our community daughters, and she's going to close out for us. She's at Howard University. She grew up in the Pan-African cultural community. Our dear daughter, Nia Lacey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Nia Lacey. I am a graduate of Nation House African Independent School. I'm a member of Conquerama's African Dance Company. I'm a member of the Unkobi Society, and I'm also ADACI's community daughter. I just completed my first year at Howard University as a biology major on the pre-med track. And as a young African woman growing up in the culture, it is extremely important that my peers and I use our platforms to celebrate our history and culture and pay homage to our ancestors. Institutions such as ADACI are extremely important in doing this work. We must continue to recognize the legacy of our ancestors and the work of our elders so that we are continuously reminded of the resiliency of our people. When we are clear about who we are as African people and the contributions we have made to the planet in all areas of life, such as math, science, medicine, astronomy, music, dance, and technology, there's an innate desire for us to tell our own story and represent ourselves as proud African young people. Asante Sana to all the elders who are here, members of our long-standing institutions. Asante Sana to my ADACI mamas on your 30th years of celebrating and commemorating our ancestors who perished in the Middle Passage and also the ones who survived. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to process, but there's so many people here that I recognize. You know, we just Listen, if you don't love our community, something's wrong with you. All right? I just love our community. I love our people, black and beautiful. And I just want to also send some love to my son. He's there. We always drive. He came out of Roots Activity Learning Center, Jay. And Baba Singer, thank you. So, where are we going to present Baba Joe? I know Baba Joe needs to talk. Give him 1 minute, Joe, Baba Joe. And 1 minute. Yes, we can leave and then we
One second. I wouldn't have took that much. This is my picture, right? This picture could have come at a better time because this year celebrates my 40th year of my drumming mission in the United States, in the Washington, D.C. area. Yeah, it's just to show you how the ancestors work. I wasn't supposed to be here this morning, but Eureka, I don't know what you did. She stood by me. I punched you because I told her I wasn't coming. And she stayed by the pot. I don't know what she put in that pot. And they canceled it up to the wee hour this morning when I was supposed to leave. They said so because my picture here is my 40th year. Where else could I have been other than here? So they found somebody to replace me to go to Richmond so that I could be here. Again, yeah. So I want all of you to know that our ancestors are for real.
That's right, that's right.
If nothing else, as I'm talking to you, you see me, you hear my voice, you're hearing God. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. I did not come here to do this. According to me, I have to make it as an emphasis of hope and empowerment for all of us. We are not a little people. Okay? So, in that note,
okay, we come to walk 1 second here. And Baba Shango, thank you. I know you're in the back there, but we love you so much. Thank you. All right.
Madasi, Akoda, everyone, how are you? I'm so excited that we're all here and that this is something that we do on a regular basis. All of you all are my family, and that's me right there.
That's Renee. That's Renee right here. The one hands up, Renee.
Renee. One of the things I actually wanted to just remind us is that we are powerful, and that the libation and the rituals that we do are to continue to empower us. This is here to empower us. So these are not empty activities. And when the word empowerment is used, just recognize that everything we do is about empowerment. And because I'm a storyteller, and then I'm going to end, a lot of the oral traditions were done because people who were vetted with the information had to have the correct information. So we have myself, we have C.R. Gibbs, we have all the other elders who have stories and information. You couldn't put some of the stuff in a book because where were you going to keep it in dry, moist areas centuries ago? It would be destroyed, it would be obliterated, it would actually be recycled. So they were housed in individuals. So recognize that we, yes, have books. We were the first to write, the first to read. Humanity began with the African seed. For 20,000 years, we were here alone before others were born. I say that to remind you that when the information says, put it in a book, they won't read it. If it's true, it's only because it's become true and people have allowed it to be true. There are plenty of things written, but recognize that everybody here is a library, and you can learn from everyone here, irregardless of the elders or the children, and learn from each one of us, that we are each a university. Please honor that, recognize that as we continue to empower ourselves, and recognize that as they learn the history and share it, even if it's verbal, it's extremely, extremely important. And I'm coming up on my 7th decade in the world, so woo! And you know 7's that spiritual number, so put your prayers in for me. I need them.
All right, thank you. We're going to start processing the drummers to the front.